Oh, crap. And we're live. Doing it live?
Hello and welcome to From Here to Paternity, the dumpster fire of conversation. Here's our Fourplay show.
Yay!
I gotta mute the live stream. Okay, I'm getting my feedback, and I'm like, oh, I don't like the way I sound. But no, and I'm sorry to everybody else that has to listen to us. But I am Scott, the man who watches birds and polishes turds. I'll pass it on to Damien.
I am Big D, the man with the plans, and this is Eric.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the unapologetic geek, and I have the back to school plague, so I'll probably be talking less, especially since I just got back from another live stream. And I'll pass it on to this guy.
Hello, Uncle Joe, Angry Santa. How's it going? I had to reference that from chat earlier, or
Right, yeah.
stream
I
earlier.
remember that.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome, brother.
Angry
So,
Santa.
I know, it's because of that picture or whatever.
He had a
He's
picture.
like, where he's watching.
Totally looked like it.
He's watching you and he's judging you, and he's all right with it. We got to get that picture. Like, I'm judging you, and I'm okay with it. Or, I'm judging what you're doing, and I like it. But no, so how's everybody been for the past 2 weeks?
Honestly, like, I've been good. Like, the Tommy, or my son going back to school has been nice. It's been good. It's been good to be able to get things done and prepare things on my channel and all that other stuff that I do, and clean the house and vacuum. Even though I've gotten sick, it has been good. But at the same time, politics made my brain explode last week, and I had almost a full-on meltdown about politics, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. I was just so fed up. And you read what I wrote, Scott, so, like, you know what I'm talking about.
I think we all read what you wrote.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. I just had to vomit it all out on Facebook and walk away.
Speaking of vomiting, one of my cats decided that it was time to vomit on everything in the house last night. Everything.
Oh my god. Is your cat okay?
I mean, she's alive. But I continue to find little piles around the house. Let's just put it that way. She vomited.
She probably just ate something that really did some damage.
Yeah. She started by jumping off the bed in my bedroom and vomiting on the floor, which I applauded her for. And then she jumped back on the bed and vomited, not on the bed, but in the bed, like in the sheets. I was getting ready to go to bed. And then she, like, ran out here somewhere and puked 3 times on the floor. And
it's like hide and seek, now you gotta find them.
yeah, exactly.
This is my version of the Easter Bunny.
And then again on the table behind me back here, on top of my daughter's laptop case. So that was it's like, where else am I gonna find them? I'm gonna, like, put my foot in a shoe tomorrow and be like, ah,
You son of a
cat.
Going like the Flintstones, just swinging the cat around. Going like,
And there's something about cat vomit, like I know banana peel is always like the cliche, you're gonna slip on this, but if you step on a banana peel, nothing happens. But if you step on cat vomit, you're hitting the floor, man.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's like, it's super slippery, but then it, like, dries to, like, concrete.
Yeah, totally.
It sticks to everything it's on, like, it's, like it's part of it, the original feature of that product or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy.
That squish feeling, like when you step on it, is the worst.
Especially if it's
like
the front of your toes and it gets between your toes.
Oh.
It's like extruded onto your foot.
You just gotta watch
the vomit. That's gonna make me.
Yeah, I know, right?
The worst Play-Doh ever. Yes, it is. It's the devil's Play-Doh.
I didn't send it down
No, you're angry Santa.
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Wear many
so
faces.
I am my oldest daughter's soccer coach, and we had our first game, and that was an experience because we lost like 13 or 14 to nothing.
Ouch.
But like a lot of the kids, this is their first year. Some of the kids, they've been doing it, but like they're like it doesn't seem like they've gotten kind of out of that like cluster amoeba mode, and I'm really trying to like, you know, and then some of them like
What ages? What age group?
U12. So it's
U12.
like it's actually 11 and 10-year-olds, and so it's, you know, they're still pretty young, and so like, but like, yeah, like some of them just, there's a couple that don't put in, like aren't putting it, like don't put in the effort, and like, so then others are having to overcommit, which then leaves openings behind where they were and where they were supposed to. And so, and then it's also, you got a couple of them that are just like running all over the, like there's a few of them that are just like really good, and they're running all over the pitch and just getting exhausted. And then on top of it also, we're down a person. So we have one less person than everyone else because that person never showed up. And I've been trying to get like a replacement. So we're down a person. Instead of having 14 kids, we only have 13. Then 2 of them didn't show up. And then one, so that left us with 2 subs. And one of the subs actually had injured their ankle the day before, like slightly sprained it. And then by the game, like just the ankle was just hurting them so much that I basically took a bunch of ice out of the cooler that I had and just had her sit on the sideline, ice it, and just like not even play. Like, and so we had one person that we had to swap in, and I was just trying to rotate as much as I could.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was rough. Yeah, it was rough. And
We've played a few games like that where it was like we had like 9 players, you know, and that was all, and it was just like playing hard the whole time.
yeah.
You know, and nobody got a break ever. Yeah, it sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
When you got like 14 kids on a team, that's like the ideal, because then you
And
can
the
just
other-
continuously rotate through.
Right. And the other
Right.
team is sending 4 people in at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 4 people coming off getting massive breaks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're having to be able to rotate.
And your
And
kids
I'm
are
like-
just like, oh my god,
Right? They're all just like,
When is
by
this
the end
gonna
of it.
stop?
Oh my god, dude! But I'll be honest, like they were really nervous in the beginning, and so that's where the other team got a lot of their points.
Mm-hmm.
But by the second half, like only three, maybe 4 goals were scored, and like a couple of them were just because the kids were exhausted by that point.
Yeah.
But like they played great in the second half, and I was proud of my girls. Like they played their hearts out. Like there's a couple of them that I had to pull aside and go like, your team is exhausted. Everyone's exhausted. Everyone's exhausted. But your team, your team is
Eric, were you playing
exhausted.
soccer earlier today?
Yeah, I know,
I
right?
feel like it.
But I had to sit and tell her like your teammates are exhausted because they're having to do their job and yours. And that's not fair. You got to pick it up. And so like like I had to kind of pull that one, and we had to have a little bit of a come to Jesus moment on the sideline. So
Do you have your kids playing positions, or are they just all like swarming the ball?
no, we were 2-3-3.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved to 2-2-4. Then we moved to 3-3-2, and then 4-2-2, then 4-3-1 by the end of it. Like just trying to like gradually like shifting people from forwards back to defense just to kind of stem the tide of everything. Like I was like, okay, well, like I feel like we'll be able to get things up and move things forward. And we got some really fast kids that they'll be able to get in there and shoot some goals. But yeah, no.
So when did you hand out 4 tutus? I'm confused.
So it's position. It's like 4 defenses.
I get it. I get it. I was making a joke.
Oh, okay. 4 tutus.
You went from playing a game to triage.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Basically.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly like we're just gonna stem the flow of blood.
Yeah, we always
Tourniquet.
2-2-4.
kill that player.
Or really was, I guess, because if you count the goalie, it's 3. Or well, anyway. But we goalie, 2 defenders, and then everybody, and then he had 2 midfielders, and then everybody else was up front. But yeah,
Oh, really?
that seemed to work well for our team at least. So, and then the midfielders would drop back into defense if the ball was coming back the other way, So,
Sure.
but the biggest thing that I found that helped our girls was just specific, like train them to a specific job and position and keep them there, and they will, and that's their job. That's they can take pride in doing that one thing, whatever that might be. So actually at one point we were running 3 defenders plus the goalie, so it was 3-2-3, I believe. But anyway,
Step away from a second. I'll be back.
You're good.
all right, go ahead.
Yeah, with our league, like they really want us rotating
Mhm.
because they want kids being able to find what. Like there's some
Well, that's
kids
what
that
practice is for.
right. Well, no. That's what we do. Like that's what
Yeah.
we do in practice. But in the games, like we're trying to get them to take what I teach
And
them in practice.
we did that
and
too,
implement it.
but like for instance, my daughter almost always plays defense. She had once been a goalie on a previous team and then moved into defense because she's better at that. And she gets rotated into offense, at least for 5 minutes or so in or a couple times in a game, just like all the defenders do. But their main role is to throughout the game is to play defense. That's the position that they get rotated through is defense, because that's what, like, for my daughter, that's what she's good at. She's not very great on offense, though she has scored a few goals in her time. That's really not her thing. Like, she is always concerned about stopping the ball from getting to the goal or the other side of the field. So even when she's on offense, she'll play back. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's just some kids, they fall into a position and that's what they're good at.
Yeah.
So
we just had to, because again, like we had to rotate a little bit because the defenders get to stay in position for a bit, and then the midfielders tend to get exhausted, and then the striker also, or the forward also gets a little bit tired. So like being able, like, because like one of the people that had historically played defense, like I moved her up to midfield, and actually like she did really excellent, but she'd never played at midfield and she didn't think that she could play midfield, but she did excellent, and she was actually able to do really well there. And so like talking with her, she wants to do that and even try like forward, and I think she would be great at I think actually she'd be good at forward, but because of her size and everything, she's always been put into the in the defense position, right?
Gotcha.
And so getting and then some of the kids like who haven't played defense, even when they were playing forward and midfielder, were still a little bit confused. Because like again, nobody really sat down and said, this is your role, right? And so I've been really working on that. Like, this is your role, this is how you're doing it. And so it's so getting her get into defense actually like saw her do a lot better, because it became a little bit more simplified, and the things that she was doing really well up forward that actually were accentuated by going into the back. And so just tweaking kids a little bit, seeing what they're doing well, and then also giving like kids breaks. Like, it was
breaks are got to be one of the biggest things. If you don't have enough players, they're gonna get exhausted and they're gonna be done by halftime. Like I said, we played a few games where we only had 9 players, and other teams that had like 14 or 15, and they're just constantly rotating through, and you can just see it in the girls, like they're giving up, halfway down the field. They're like, Yeah, that's I've run far enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, again, like, you know, in the second half, I was like, our goal is to reduce the number of goals that they're making. Like, we all know that, like, we're not playing to win at this point, right? Let's be realistic. We're not playing to win. That's okay, right? Because that's not what we're trying to learn with this game. With this game, we're just trying to stem the bleed, right? Like,
We're gonna put
someone,
a tourniquet on this.
right? Someone gets shot in the arm. We're not looking for them to just get a Band-Aid and walk right out of the ED. What we're looking to do is to stop the bleeding right now till we can get them to surgery, do the repairs, let them heal, and then they'll get out, right? We're not looking, and so let's stop the bleeding right now. That's what we're gonna do. And so, like, and again, just taking like this healthcare approach and mentality with like a lot of this and everything. So yeah. I think for a while we're gonna have to do. I think we're gonna have to do 4-3-1s, you know, initially, for a while. One girl who had never played goalie, in the second half, like, our goalie was like, "I'm done with this," just because, like, there was just like it was rough.
Because
and
when you're
I
the
get it.
goalie, every goal they get past you, you feel like it's your fault.
Absolutely.
You know, even
Absolutely.
if it's like the defense screwed up first, they let the ball through. You know, it's like, you know, for that matter, the midfielders let the ball get past midfield. You know,
Right.
So it's like it's a team effort, and the goalie always takes it as it's all on them. And like,
Right.
the goalie is probably the most important player in the entire game, if you ask me. But you know, but they put too much pressure on themselves. They really do. So
Yeah.
it's not. It's not their fault, is what I'm trying to get at. So they're doing the best they can, especially if the other team's like taking 6 shots at a time on you. You know?
Oh yeah, God, right? And so, like, this other girl who was like never played goalie before, but she is one of the most aggressive players out there, right? Like, she had made a bet with her dad. Her dad was like, I don't expect you to win, right? I just expect you guys to play well, right? And play hard.
Yeah,
which
just
I loved.
try your
I
hardest.
loved.
Yeah, don't give
loved
up.
that.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Oh, I'll bet you we are going to win." And so it was adamant to her because she wanted to prove her dad wrong that they were going to win. And she was like, I was like, okay, this player doesn't want to be goalie, and that's fine. Like, because I really, honestly, I wanted them to be a midfielder anyway. I was like, who wants to step up and be goalie, right? And there's a couple people that raised their hand, but this other girl who had never played goalie was like, and had never practiced it or anything like that, was like, I want to try it. I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. And so I pulled her aside, and she told me, she was like, she had already told me, she was like, yeah, I made that bet with my dad. I was like, okay. You have to be fearless out there. You cannot be afraid of that ball because that is your ball. Okay? Don't let them have that ball. You take it from them because they took your ball from you. You take it back, right? You've got, and she's like, yes, yes. And she had this like fury in her face. And I was like, you monster. You go out there, you monster, and you be the monster. Let that monster out. Unleash that monster. And so I forgot the pennies. I didn't bring the pennies because I was like, we're not going to need pennies. And we have 2 shirts. We have 2 jerseys, right? So I was like, our goalie will just wear our other jersey. But the ref wouldn't let us use the other jersey because because the other jersey was blue and the other team was like a darker color blue. And they were like, you can't wear this. Fortunately, my oldest brought this Bernie Sanders Breaking Bank t-shirt. And it looks like the Heisenberg. It's like Bernie Sanders in this Heisenberg. It's a shirt that the Young Turks put out that I thought was just absolutely brilliant. It was great. But I was like, okay, they can't wear this. Let's turn it inside out. You're going to be white. And she put on the white shirt or whatever. And I was like, it's a white shirt. Just wear this. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's inside out Bernie Sanders Breaking Bank, shirt or whatever. And the ref let that he was like, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So she wore that.
I think it would have been funny
goalies
had
wore
you
that.
put it the Bernie Sanders side out. Though.
I know. I just
Bernie's
didn't want to like.
goalie.
She's breaking banks. She's breaking everything, right? Like Heisenberg's coming for you.
See Bernie pointing to, you're not gonna get that ball past me.
Our goalie going. I want to see our goalie go. I am the one who knocks. I am the one who knocks, right? Like, but anyways, like, no, she was ferocious out there, and like, she was like, I want to play goalie next week. I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. I want to play goalie next week. Never played goalie, and she rocked it. Like, again, the team just got exhausted, right? Like, was getting exhausted, and so, like, that's the only reason they got a couple extra ones, because by that time, like, people were emotionally fried, because like, at this point, there's no mercy rule. Like,
What was the weather like? Was it hot or just?
it was
warm?
hot. Oh, no, it was hot. It was a hot day.
That makes it even worse.
That wears
so.
you down. Yeah, like, it was hot. There's no shade. The sun's beating down. Like, it was rough. And so, like, I'm just like kind of walking the sidelines, and I know I'm a big dude, but I was pouring sweat. And so, like, I was like, good God Almighty, man, trying to wear light shirts and stuff like that. And this week it's gonna cool off nicely. And then on next weekend,
you start hearing Phil Collins singing in your ear. Ooh, how I wish it would rain down.
I'm only happy when it rains.
Oh, even better. There you go.
But no, like next yeah. So it's gonna cool off this week, and then next week it's gonna go right back up. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
So,
it's
You
still
got
90
Eric
degrees
started.
here.
I was singing
Do what?
No Rain, Blind Melon.
oh yeah.
You got choppy there for a second, so I
Sorry.
Yeah, it's still above 90 here and will be for, well, the foreseeable future, apparently.
That's crazy. That's
It's a
crazy.
nice,
It
cool
went down to
86 or
70
so.
the other morning, though. Like yesterday morning, it was 70 degrees outside. Was it yesterday?
Felt-
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Felt good.
Yeah, it was nice. I was like, holy shit, it's cooler outside than it is in my house. It's like, when was the last time this happened?
I remember living in Jacksonville when we broke the record for having 90-degree weather 30 days in a row for the first time ever. For the first time ever.
That we just
Like,
had an entire summer of that.
Yeah.
Like, since June.
Like, it's and you're going into like September now. Like, we're coming into fall, and you're still hanging around 90s. That's
I think yesterday the high was actually 88 or 89, so we were finally below 90, but still, it was a nice day. But today it's 90 degrees again. Yeah, it's at least 90 out there right now. So
like
it will be for the next several days. Yeah, lots of fun.
And at least Arizona, it's a dry heat. But when you're 120, who gives a crap how dry it is? It's
Well,
miserable.
For the,
But-
for the last bit, it's actually been what I would consider dry for Florida here, which would be like everywhere else in the world, they'd be like, man, it's fucking humid.
Yeah.
But here, it was like you step outside and you're like, oh, I don't immediately start pouring sweat. I don't have condensation forming on me from the humidity in the air.
Floridians are like, this is a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is like, it feels like sweaty balls.
Yeah, exactly. I remember going up to Toronto for my sister's wedding, and it was years and years ago, and I think it was in July, and everybody was like, I'm wearing like short sleeve button down shirt and slacks, and that's pretty much what everybody was wearing because that's summer attire for formal, but up there. But everybody was complaining how hot and muggy it was. It's so muggy. I was like, this is like dry as can be. It's like, this is the driest weather I've experienced. Like in
Damien's
months.
getting nosebleeds because it's
I gotta like put the straw up my nose and snort water,
right.
I gotta hydrate.
God,
give, me, give me the pump bottle of moisturizer.
No,
I was like, man, this is beautiful. What are you talking about, muggy? If you don't live down here in it, it's I mean, you guys know it's a different version of mugginess, of humidity. It's basically the air becomes like this, like almost congealed mass of moisture almost. It's one step away from fog.
Dude, those days when it's so hot and
Mhm.
humid, where
Mhm.
it's like the water and the water vapor in the air is so thick that it's hard to breathe because it
Yeah.
feels like you're breathing a
Ugh.
solid,
Yeah.
right? It's
Like you're
like,
drinking the air.
right? Oh my God, dude. You know what I don't miss? I don't miss finally getting the AC like going enough that it's like okay to touch the steering wheel and
Oh.
that you drive, huh?
So, I was just remembering because I haven't
Yeah.
had to do that in a long time.
Right? Like you're like, oh, this is great. This is wonderful. What's going on?
I used to like turn
Sorry.
the vents towards the wheel, and then while still stopped, I would like spin to get like the whole thing, get
Yeah.
like even
Yeah.
coverage.
I got in my truck the other day. It was parked in at a weird angle where the sun was just beating down on the seat while I was on a job site. I got in my truck. I mean, I had the windows open and everything to keep it cool in there. I got in my truck, sat down, and it was like, sitting down on a barbecue or something. I immediately went, Jesus Christ, and jumped out of the fucking truck. It's like, and I don't even have like leather seats or anything. It's cloth seats. It shouldn't be that bad.
Oh,
I had to start the AC up and let it run for a minute. I couldn't get in the truck.
no, but it gets like you finally get the AC going enough that it cools things off. I was like, I thought someone so someone's car's parked out in front of my house, and like,
They're coming.
no,
to
I
take
thought
you
someone
away.
was
Ha
breaking
ha.
into it, and I was like, who is this person like getting into this? I know whose car this is. Who is this person getting into this car? And they get into the car because apparently they left their deodorant in the car, and so they were like spraying deodorant. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. And so sounds good, but no, like,
Okay.
hey, man, I'm from Florida, like.
Deodorant in the
I've-
car? Yeah, I get
That's
that.
not even
I already
crazy
apply
yet,
like 3 times a day. It's so fucking hot here.
right?
I don't know, man. Aerosol deodorant in a car is probably a bad idea in Florida.
Yeah.
Explode.
You know what's
Right.
really great
No.
is when you come out from like a convenience store or someplace and you're like you want to put some hand sanitizer on, and it's been sitting in your center console in the hot, in the sun or whatnot, and you squirt it in your hand and it's like molten lava. It's like fuck.
No, like
You don't even get that cooling effect from the alcohol. It's just like burn.
like what I hate is like, okay, you finally get. I'm gonna finish this. I promise you.
Okay, go ahead.
You
go ahead.
finally get it cool enough to like be able to put your hands on the steering wheel and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You drive to where you're going, right? Then you turn everything off. You get out of the car, and you hit that wave of hot air, right? Like a brick wall. Me having glasses, they immediately completely fog up.
Yep.
And it becomes hard to breathe, right? And you're like, why do I live here? What?
Well, you don't anymore for good reason.
Forget you, Flagler. Forget you for destroying the swamp. Just leave it alone. It wasn't meant to be. Flagler came and drained out all the water.
Seen 0 comments.
Hmm?
Okay.
We got a like at least.
Yay.
I don't know. I see 3.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That means one of y'all at least did not like it.
I think that one's from the Facebook.
I know.
would
I
be-
liked it.
That would be me.
From the
I
Facebook.
liked it.
Oh, I can even like hover over it and see who liked. It was you, Joe. Yes, it is
Yes,
the Facebook.
it was me.
But wait,
Yes.
I can't see who liked it.
It's like on the screen. You can't see that.
It's probably
show
just
me either.
because
No, it
Eric
just says
and I are
unlike.
the only 2
Hosts, yeah,
hosts.
Oh, gotcha.
You have to
I have
pay
the
extra
power
for
to-
more hosts.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But
But yeah, so it is time for us to start the recording. And so, y'all, anybody who watches this, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day and next 2 weeks. And check out, keep an eye out for our recordings as they come along. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
See you then.
Much love.
Adios.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye bye. End.